I feel like this looks weird, but there's something wrong with my stand thing. So anyways, I am sorry if you can hear the clothes in the background, but I have to do my laundry right now because that's what I have to do. So Booktube prize, rankings, reaction, whatever. Yes, so we'll start with the worst and go to the best. I'm going to warn you right now, dear viewer, friend, etc. I'm going to be interspersing these review clips with vlog footage of some of the reading, specifically the first two books that I'm going to talk about, which are my least favorite and books that I did not quite enjoy. Although I ranked one of them like way high, like I rate. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's start with the worst first. All the Frequent Troubles of Our Days by Rebecca Donner. Okay, so I finished Somebody's Daughter yesterday, which I was listening to by Ashley C. Ford. And so now I have space in my ears again. So I started the audiobook of, this book is big, All the Frequent Troubles of Our Days by Rebecca Donner. But I'm confused, to be honest with you. So I'm going to have to read this physically for a little bit just to like kind of get into it, because I feel like the chapter I just listened to, or like the section I was just listening to, she's 16 and like at her sister's house, and all of a sudden she's meeting the guy that she's going to marry and she's 25. So I don't know if I like misheard because I'm listening to it. So I'm not really, I feel like this is the kind of book that's actually much harder to listen to an audio because there's going to be a lot of like facts in it. So we'll see. I do want to have it as an option though, because I've got 2 days, right? Today's the 28th. Oh my God. I'm pretty sure it's the 28th, which means that I've got less than 48 hours to finish these. No, I don't. I've got 50 hours because it's until 2 and it's only noon right now. So yay. I did get off work early a little bit today to try to finish these books. I've already worked a lot of hours this week, so it works out, and obviously they were able to manage without me being there. So I am excited to sit down and try to get this done. I feel like I should turn on some lights though, or open the windows, or sit not on the sofa. That makes me fall asleep. Whatever. I will say something that I do now that I'm like thinking about it really fast that I enjoy about this book is that they say that she gets like the guillotine in the introduction. So I really appreciate that because again, that's my biggest pet peeve when I'm reading a nonfiction that's based on factual events, like not a memoir, even maybe a memoir. I mean, that came out weird. Memoirs are obviously based on factual events. That's not what I meant. What I meant is like when there's a person trying to give us like a history of something and they withhold information to try to like tease us, to like pique our interest when we have again picked up the book in the first place. Your writing should keep our interest, not whether or not you can make a cliffhanger. So I appreciate that. Like that's just like out there in the open, because that's not what it's about. These types of books aren't about being spoiled. They're about getting information. So I find that just so insulting when authors do that. So I'm pleased that this author has not done that. But I've just barely started it. So there's room for problems to pop up. I wasn't wrong. It goes from, I guess, 1919. No, that can't be right. 1919 to 1932. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I get that the point of the book is like what she did during World War II. So like you need to get to World War II. And like, I guess I get what the point is of having her early life, because then you get a sense of her, but you're only dedicating like what? Less than, because that's 1932. Like, I don't know, 4 pages to, I don't know. It's just weird. I don't like it. But, again, I think I am sometimes overly critical just because it's fun to criticize people. I can't write a book, so I don't know why I'm being so hard on this person. Okay, now I'm even more confused because now apparently it's 1929. So this chapter starts with, it is September 1st, 1932, talking about how she's like making tea or something. And then talking about Arvid. And then they met at the University of Wisconsin. But again, because I was listening to it, like that kind of misses your ear a little bit, you know, because you don't get everything when you listen to, at least I don't get everything when I listen to things on audio. So, yeah, I'm a little annoyed, but I think reading it physically, I'm going to be less annoyed. So I'm putting my attention into that, and hopefully I can at least get to page 100 or reading it physically so I can understand what's happening before attempting to listen to more audio. But I don't think this is a good audiobook choice, as my feelings. Okay, I'm having some feelings about this book already. And again, I just want to preface this by saying, I know that I'm a grumpy person, okay? I accept that. These are just my opinions. I can't help that these are the thoughts that I'm feeling. But I'm just like not a fan of books that are like about like American exceptionalism and like how great Americans are, and like how, you know, I mean the like whatever the thing is, the subtitle of this book is The True Story of an American Woman at the Heart of the German Resistance to Hitler. So like the implication is this American woman, this white American woman goes to Germany and ran out of space. Classic. You know, I just like, and then I'm at this little section. This is what really did me in a little bit, is talking about how, you know, Mildred sings to them, and then, yes, sings is in italics. And then she sings 2 songs. One's called Clementine and one's called John Brown. And the John Brown song is about John Brown, the abolitionist. And it goes, John Brown died that the slaves might be free, over and over again. And then his soul goes marching on. And it's just like, why don't you sing them a song about all of the indigenous people that we murdered, or all the slaves, you know, enslaved people? Like, it just really, and I don't know, it just really bothers me, the cherry picking of information to make someone seem more or less down with being a decent human being. I think I need to add a little bit more of what my problem is right now. So I'm reading All the Frequent Troubles of Our Days by Rebecca Donner. Tagline is The True Story of the American Woman at the Heart of the German Resistance to Hitler. And the book is written by this person's, Mildred is the main character, the woman who is at the heart of German resistance. And this book is written by her like descendant, her like great something. So I'm having issues with the book because I am kind of just in general over the idea of Americans being special. Okay? Americans are not special. Not a single American, including the ones from the other countries in the Americas. No one is special. And I feel like there's something, and again, I just want to also state specifically that none of this is shade at Rebecca, the author of this book, because she probably found out that her aunt, her great-great-aunt, or her great-great-grandma, or whomever, is like the super badass woman, and she like wants to share it, and she wants to write about it. And so I respect that. I totally respect that she wanted to write this. My problem is the publishing industry and how they love, it's kind of like is it the Green Mile? The problem with that, like we love telling stories, and we love publishing books that are stories of how wonderful this random white person is, how wonderful this, you know, how magnificent this person from America, from the United States of America is, and how great they are. And then I was like, you know, I think that the reason I'm extra aggressively angry about this is because last year I was made to read another book. I DNF'd that one though because the writing was atrocious. This one, the writing is acceptable, so I'll keep reading it. But it's called A Woman of No Importance, The Untold Story of the American Spy Who Helped Win World War II by Sonia Purnell. And it's just like, why do we keep writing these books? Why do we keep publishing these books? Like, why? What are we doing? This country is obsessed with World War II. First of all, our actions in World War II were not all that great, okay? I understand, like, Hitler was the actual worst, but, like, we did a lot of bad stuff too, and, like, where are the books about that? Where is the history being written of a person who, you know, was involved in, you know, the bombing of Hiroshima? Like, where are those books at? Why are we not writing books also about other things other than how great the United States of America is and how exceptional we are? I'm getting so upset. I'm sorry. We're not exceptional. We're not great. We have done so many bad things in this country. So many bad things. And again, I understand, like, you're not trying to read bummer books all the time. Like, I get it. I get it. But I think it's kind of like that syndrome or symptom where you're exposed to something for so long, and so you're just like really over it. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I'm not interested, and I'm annoyed that I have to read this book. I'm going to read it, but I'm annoyed because, again, I'm sure there are plenty of people who did really amazing things during World War II that were, I don't know, Jewish, I don't know, queer, I don't know, Black. Like, where are their stories? Why do I have to hear about another white woman from the United States who did an exceptional thing? I don't care. Was that supposed to be me? I think that was me being nicer than the first time that I did this. Oh, whatever. It's fine. But like, next year, I'm only agreeing to do translated. I am not agreeing to do any nonfiction because I'm sick of having to read these books that I just don't want to read. This is the semifinals. The semifinals, and I'm being forced to read this, okay? Anger inside my heart. And again, I'm happy for Rebecca because I do really feel and believe that this is so important to her and so great. And I'm so happy for her as a human. I'm just mad at this country in general for telling only specific stories. Only specific stories. Hopefully this is usable. I'm listening to the audiobook of All the Freaking Troubles of Our Days, and I just, honestly, I'm getting more and more agitated. How does this have a 4.33 rating on Goodreads? Like, one of the sections was like, oh, she's pregnant and she's been doing abdominal exercises for the last 2 years to prepare her body, but, you know, nothing could prepare her for like this or something. It's just like, what am I listening to right now? I don't understand. The whole book feels like it was like a bunch of note cards. Like someone wrote different like pieces of different information on different note cards and then just kind of like mooshed them together. Like, that's how I'm feeling right now. I'm not liking this. This book is so annoying to me. So it's been going back and forth between like Mildred and the boy. And then eventually we get the boy's name is Dawn. And then eventually we get the story of how he becomes like a courier basically for the resistance. But it's like, is this method of storytelling supposed to intrigue me more? I actively actually hate this book. Now I went from, I didn't hate it before and I hate it now. And if I was not listening to it on audio, I would have DNF'd it 100%. All right, so I assume you just watched some vlog footage of me maybe trashing this book a little bit. Yeah, so I feel like I mentioned this in the clips, but I am not rewatching them before I'm filming this. Why do we need this book? Why do we need it? Can anyone tell me? Why do we feel the need to insert ourselves into everybody's business as Americans? Are Americans extra spectacular? Are Americans extra great? I'm not trying to deny that this Mildred person probably did a lot of great things. I'm sure she did. But like other people that are not Americans also did great things. So, you know, I just don't care enough, okay? And I feel like I mentioned in my like vlog portion too that like there was another book very similar to this in the last year that I definitely DNF'd because the writing in that one was atrocious. The writing in this is at least acceptable, but I hate the structure of this book. First of all, I wanted Mildred to die. It opens up with her being like, with you being told that she's going to be beheaded. She's going to get the guillotine. And it's just like, great. At a certain point, maybe like around here, I was like, yeah, because I haven't caught up on my stuff. I was listening to it on audiobook. But anyways, like maybe around here, I was just like, can we just kill her? Let's just kill her. Just kill her. Just get it over with. I don't want to listen to this anymore. Like, I don't even know what she did. The only thing this book is talking about is like the fact that she's like trying to like get people into the resistance and like what Arvid did and, you know, what Greta did or Gerda or whatever, like all of these people, you know, Margaret, I don't know. I don't remember all of the names of the people because there's so many people, but it just talks about like how she was organizing and how, I don't know, there wasn't enough about like what she actually did during the war, which is confusing to me. The author, is related to Mildred. I guess it's a niece situation because Mildred did not have any children. So I'm pretty sure that's what it is, like a great niece or whatever. And I do feel like Rebecca's probably, again, really pumped, like her aunt, her great aunt, like, you know, was part of the resistance. That's like super cool and super rad. But like, that doesn't mean that you should write a book about it. And that like, and that doesn't mean that I should read a book about it. I should not have purchased this book. I don't know how I keep making the same mistake. Like, I need to read, because I think on Libby, you like have access to the first like few pages. I need to read the first like whatever pages they allow you to read, because I am not interested in owning every single one of these books. I'm not interested in reading every single one of these books. I feel like my washing machine is going wild right now. It's echoing the feelings I have inside of me. Yeah, just not good. And structurally, this book makes no sense. It's written like this, so it follows Mildred and the boy, and you know, it goes back and forth between the two of them, I guess, and the boy is like the child of one of them that they use as like a courier. And it's just like, I'm sorry, would you really put your child's life in danger? I don't know, maybe you would. I don't know if I could do that. That's like really intense. It's one thing to put your own life in danger, but to put a 10-year-old boy's life in danger, lunacy. But anyways, it's just like a segment and then a segment, and it's like really weird. I don't know why she feels the need to break everything. The whole book is like that, and it's like structurally it's terrible, because like, what's the point? This could just all be a chapter. Why do you have to break it up into little sections? I don't understand. There's some other things that really annoyed me in here. But I just like don't remember, and I just don't care enough to remember. Again, I'm sure she was great. There's also a part where, sorry, I was thinking of something else where it's just like, oh, you know, she's talking about blah, 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 whatever. There's a part in this book where they talk about how women get the guillotine, men get hanged and women get the guillotine, and like talking about like the barbarism of the guillotine or something. I could be exaggerating, but like I would much rather get the guillotine, you're welcome, Nicole, than be hanged, okay? Being hung does not guarantee a quick, easy death. If you chop the head off, you're dead instantly. It's done. People are so obsessed with blood that like they don't understand like that it is actually more humane to give someone a beheading than it is to hang them, which was probably a weird tangent to go on, but I found it like just so weird. Like, I just don't like this book. I gave it 1.5 stars. I literally cannot believe it made it to the semifinals. I need to see what other books were against it, like in the other rounds, and I need to find any reviews that other people doing the Booktube prize have done on this book, because preposterous, not good. I didn't like it. Okay, so next is Somebody's Daughter by Ashley C. Ford, and I'm gonna pause now for vlog times. Okay, so I feel really disappointed right now. So I just started this for Booktube Prize. And again, I'm gonna do like full reviews, and all I've read is one chapter, but I just started Somebody's Daughter by Ashley C. Ford, and I am disappointed in the writing. I think I'm gonna see if I can get this on audio, just because I think I'm gonna have trouble picking this up if I have to read it. I do think that the story is going to be good, but the writing I don't like, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but it feels hold on, I think my cat's doing something. Anyways, sorry. So I feel like when I started reading this, I'm like, okay, well, this is definitely her debut. Like, this is not, you know. And the only thing that I can say to express like how I feel about the writing is that it feels kind of like a dramatization. I don't know if that's the right word, but it feels like she maybe was in choir or in theater or something. Like, it feels like a little, I don't know what the word is, because obviously it's like, you know, about her father being released from prison. So it's kind of hard. Because I don't want to make any judgments about her or like her story or anything. It's just purely the writing style for me is not, it's not what I enjoy. And then I got confused because when I went on her Goodreads page, it said on the back cover, her little blurb, it says Ashley C. Ford is a best-selling author. And then I was like, okay, so she must have written other books. And then no, this is her only book. So this must be the book that they're talking about. And it does say New York Times bestseller on the cover. So I'm going to assume that that was added for the blurb for the paperback, because like that would be weird to put it on the hardcover when it was first printed, because how can you know you're a bestseller unless you actually are on the bestseller list? Is so awkward. I feel like I'm being so mean. Yeah. And she has written things for The Guardian, New York Times, Elle, BuzzFeed, Slate, Teen Vogue, New York Magazine. So she's written lots of things for lots of places, but I'm wondering if like, you know, the weight of writing like such an, you know, like an personal and I assume like emotionally impactful story, like I wonder if the weight of that like put some kind of pressure on her, or if it's just like it's her first book. So, you know, I don't know. I feel like I'm being a total bitch right now, and I feel really, really, really bad. But I just don't like the writing. Because, like, I mean, listen, this is the last, the last two sentences of the first chapter. For a long time, that was all I needed. Until, of course, I needed more. You know, it's just like, that doesn't work for me as a reader. I feel like lots of people maybe are into it, though, so, oh, God. We'll see. We'll see. I decided to read just one more chapter. But another example, I need a pencil, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I wanted the sunrise, and I only had to stay awake to have her. Like, I just don't like sentences like that. I went away. I cut my hair. And now I'm back because I didn't quite finish chapter 2. The soft roses and lavenders went on to burn blood orange on the underbellies of clouds. I told my shadow I wanted to keep the sun. I have a very strong sensation this is going to be my last ranked book. I am not enjoying this. I feel so bad. I'm like really, really tempted to find, because I'm subscribed to, no, she hasn't written, no, New York Times, Buzz. I'm not subscribed to, I guess, any of these. I thought it was New Yorker, but it's New York Magazine. And I canceled my subscription to the New York Times. I need to read another piece of hers. Like, I need to read a short thing that she's written, just out of curiosity to like see, because I just can't get on with this writing. And again, I feel really, 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 really bad about it. But it is like it's a preference. It's a personal preference. I just hate adjectives, like so many of them. And I do want to say, I didn't do my review for A Little Devil in America by Hanif Abdurraqib. I think that's it. It's so far away. I have to like try too hard. And I think also the problem is that book was That might be my favorite book of the year. A Little Devil in America. I mean, first of all, the topic is interesting, but the writing is so smooth and so good and just phenomenal. Like, I was so close to buying every single one of his books the second I finished that, but I'm trying to be good, so I didn't, but I want to, because his writing is so good. So it's just kind of hard, like, to, to go from that to this. I think that's also part of the problem. I just want to say that my hold for Somebody's Daughter by Ashley C. Ford came through, and I'm so happy that I don't have to physically read this book anymore, that I get to listen to it. There's only like 7 hours of audio. I also, did I mention I got the audiobook for All the Frequent Troubles of Our Days by Rebecca Donner? It's like 14 hours, so it's good to have that like in my back pocket just in case I need it and I'm really crunched towards the end. But I've got like a week left, I think. Hold on. It's the 24th. I've got 6 days. I kind of feel like I want to read that one physically, or at least try to read that one physically. So I'm going to focus on the audio of this first, and then I'll move on to that audio, like as soon as I finish this audio, just so I can make sure that I, get the books in. But yeah, I'm feeling like really weirdly confident, which isn't right, because again, there's 4 books left, 6 days left. I shouldn't feel confident, but I always get it done, so I feel confident. That's probably why I keep doing it, because it keeps working out for me. I'm a bad girl. Hey, well, I'm really happy. I'm enjoying this so much more as an audiobook. I think because it's audio, so that means that like I'm doing something while I'm listening. I am not hearing, I'm not hearing the words that are annoying me in the text as much, which again is like the overly like floral, like verbose, essay quality of it. Like it's, I'm not hearing it as much. I'm just hearing the content of the book. And it's a really, the story is, enjoyable is not the right word. So I feel pleasure now. I don't think it's going to be like, I think it's still going to be my lowest rated of the books, just unless that other book, All the Frequent Troubles of Our Days, is like really not my thing. Those kinds of nonfiction books can really get on me the wrong way, but I already know that Chasing Me to My Grave I'm going to really like, and I'm already enjoying Chasing Me to My Grave, and I know How the Word is Past I'm going to also really enjoy, and I obviously loved the other 2 books. So I still think this is going to be my least rated, but I'm pleased that I'm able to get more enjoyment out of my experience with the book by listening to it on audio instead of reading it. I'm probably done with it for tonight. I'm on chapter 11. So I feel like this is like a way more vloggy Booktube prize situation than I've done in the past, but oh well. Okay, so I went on a journey with this book. I ended up giving it 3.5 stars, which I would like to lower into 2.5 stars. I'm still gonna round it up to 3. No, maybe I'm gonna round it down to 2. I just don't think this book was very good. I don't think the writing was very good. And like, I just don't understand. I underlined a little bit. I feel like I thought that I guess I didn't put any tabs. I put tabs in the next book, but I wanted the sunrise and I only had to stay awake to have her. The sound opened like a spring bloom on the tip of my tongue. Turned the sky into the painted milk of a soggy bowl of leftover off-brand Lucky Charms. The soft roses and lavenders went on to burn blood orange on the underbellies of clouds. I told my shadow I wanted to keep the sun. I'll stop. I think you get my point and the reason why I personally did not like this book. I think that she was trying way too hard. I also, and again, I don't know, hopefully this is not in the vlog footage because I don't want to be too repetitive. I guess I can edit things out. But all I can think is this is definitely a debut. And I don't mean to say that all debuts are poorly written because, and again, I wouldn't say this is necessarily poorly written. It just feels like she's trying way, way, way too hard. You don't have to try that hard. You know, like, why are you, it feels like it's being forced. I did not like the writing at all. Again, thank goodness I had this on audiobook because I probably, which is I think why I stopped writing in the book because I listened to it on audio, so I stopped marking in it. But yeah, she's had a tough life. But like, I just don't know what this book is about. You know, she's talking about her father who's in jail. She's talking about her mom, but then like sometimes she likes her mom, sometimes she doesn't. And then, you know, she had sexual violence done to her and, you know, tumultuous home life. And then, you know, stuff happens with her grandma. And then like, it just switches like to a different thing. And it's like, oh, I love my husband, or like the person that becomes my husband. It just feels like all over the place. I don't understand what this book is about. I feel like she wanted to write a memoir about her experience. Sorry, of course I ran out of space on my phone. So I feel like she had an idea, and I think that they mentioned like she writes, you know, for all these other places, but short pieces. And I would totally read something short by her. I'm not subscribed to any of these things, unfortunately. But that's okay. I'm sure you know, whatever. At some point I'll read something else by her that is shorter and I probably would like it. I really do feel like this is, again, someone who is really trying to like write beautiful floral language, really try to make a point, and like really, you know, trying to kind of hook you and get you by like painting this majestic picture. But that does not work for me as a reader. I don't like that at all. And so I was just really turned off by the writing like almost immediately. And yeah, again, I feel like also it was just like really disjointed. Like I couldn't really tell, you know, what was going on. It wasn't like a bunch of essay collections. I think I can't talk. If it were an essay collection and each essay were about something different, I think I would have enjoyed this a lot more because I feel like there would have been maybe like a more like a tighter story than this. I did not get on with this. And the worst part is that at the very end of the book, there is a conversation that she has with Clint Smith, and she sounds amazing. And I totally would listen to a podcast that she does. I would listen to her do those kinds of things. But again, there's like this weird affect that people put on when they do audiobooks that I think is the reason why I don't enjoy audio. And I do want to mention that both of these books, I would not have liked them if I read them physically also. This has nothing to do with the fact that I listened to them on audio, but like trying way too hard while reading the book, like, oh, but da-da-da, whatever. And her too, I forgot to mention, but like whenever she was doing a note, she'd be talking, talk, rah, 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 da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. You know, like depending on if it was a man or a woman that wrote the letter, it was super, super weird. And I'm just like, that was weird. But yeah, I really, really, like the second that she started talking in her natural voice, I was just like, yes, great. I didn't listen to it because I needed to finish some books, but I would like search for her in a podcast feed also. I just did not like this at all. And then next, you're gonna be shocked. 4th place, How the Word Is Passed by Clint Smith. And I will, if there's any vlog, I will put it here. I'm reading the section, this is How the Word Is Passed. I'm reading the section on Blandford Cemetery, and oh boy. Feeling lots of feelings. And I need to look up this Richard Poplar because I feel like that name, when Jake and I were driving across the country in 2018, I think we tried to stop at some national like monuments, memorials, parks, and one of them was like a battlefield in Tennessee, I think. And I feel like Richard Poplar was mentioned, but now they're talking about, but then they're saying that he's in Virginia, so I'm confused. I'm gonna keep reading this, but then I'm gonna Google that person afterwards. How can you read this book and like not get mad, basically? You know? That's what I'm saying. Oh my gosh, I'm still reading the section on the Blandford Cemetery, and there's like a guy that he's talking to that's like, because there's Confederate, it's like the people that dress up reenactment kind of things. And so he's pointing at one of the guys, and he says that he's in an interracial, like he's in an interracial marriage. But if you don't know him, you're going to say he's racist. And then my first thought was, you can be racist and be in an interracial relationship. And then obviously the next sentence is Clint Smith saying, while it certainly is not true that being in an interracial relationship means that someone can't be racist, which is funny, but like, why do people think that? Like, so this whole section on this cemetery is like really aggravating me, like the people that he's talking to. Because like one of the guys is like, I'm a like, you know, maybe he doesn't call himself a historian, but he says that he, you know, like that's his main hobby and whatever. Like he reads a lot about the Civil War. It's like his focus, and so he knows a lot about it, and he knows the truth and like blah blah blah, because everyone will just say it's like about slavery, and like the textbooks just say it's about slavery, and so he's talking and like giving like he thinks that he is an intelligent person that's like giving, you know, Clint Smith like all of this really important information or whatever. And then he talks about basically history books are trash, okay? Or not even history books, but like anyone, maybe not anyone can write anything, but they're like, what is it called? Confirmation bias. Like, you're going to read the things that reinforce your own beliefs. Like, why do you think? It's just so frustrating, which is why it's important to have like multiple, like if you read multiple perspectives, then like you can kind of come to some like vague understanding, because it's like probably somewhere kind of in the middle. I mean, except with regards to this, because it was about slavery, 100%. But anyways, it just like bothers me, the arrogance of like a man saying that, you know, he is intelligent and other people are stupid because they just read what's in the textbooks, and he knows more. It's kind of like these, I think that's like how the QAnon people are, where they're like, you know, we've got the real information. I think that's how these people are, right? And I just like, I can't with it, because it's so aggravating. Like, I just want, and like, why are white men so obsessed with white women getting together with black men? I don't understand. I'm losing my mind right now. Reading this is like putting me in a state. A state. This book should be required reading. Like, okay, so now that we're talking about this book, I guess, yeah, I feel really weird putting this in fourth place, but again, it's the writing for me. I think this book should be required reading for 10th graders. I don't know, is 10th too old or too young? Like in high school, this book should be required reading. This book blew my mind. I think I gave it 4.5 stars. So like, this is not to say that I didn't like this book. It's just like for my personal taste, I enjoyed the other books more. But this book was phenomenal. You learn about so much stuff. I do think that in the conversation that it was just, I can't talk. The conversations he was having with people were just like, it was chef's kiss. Okay. It was so good. It was perfect, except I pulled on the rope. The bell's metal tongue swung inside its body as its chime reverberated like a heavy heart. Ken was tall and slender with thin graying hair and a pair of glasses atop his forehead, ready at any moment to, with a nod, drop down to his nose. I marveled at the tight coils of iron glazed by the glint of midday sun and each section's undeviating symmetry. Thin columns of metal rose from the balcony's platform and blossomed like chrysanthemums, a throng of floral spirals and corkscrews that held up the roof above it. A band of sparrows flew overhead and landed atop the roof. Sirens of an unseen ambulance sang in the distance. Like, I grabbed a bottle of water from my backpack and the condensation dripped over my fingertips. I took a gulp and let the cool drink slide down my throat. I just, again, I hate that shit so much. And you know, again, we all have our things that we enjoy that we don't enjoy. I'm not surprised that he had a conversation with, you know, Ashley, because I feel like the two of them do the same thing. Like, why are you explaining to me exactly how every single person that you talk to looks? I feel like maybe in some aspect, like, I guess, you know, because race is obviously important. It's a book about slavery and like its impact in America. So it is important to know, you know, if you're speaking to a person who is like black or white. I get that, but I just feel like the overly verbose descriptions of human beings was irritating. And again, it was basically like at the beginning and ending of each chapter was bookmarked by really unnecessary descriptions of the setting that you're in. And I hate nature writing, and so maybe this is just like something like that where, you know, people like to picture things in their heads. I don't visualize anything when I read. I just absorb what I read. So I don't see anything playing out in my head. I don't like see scenes unfolding. I just read and feel and experience. I sound like a crazy person. But yeah, so I found that to be so infuriating. But, you know, once you're like in the chapter, it's just like so good. It's mind-blowing and so upsetting. It's honestly just so upsetting. I wouldn't be surprised if this won. But yeah, the writing for those beginning and endings, I just like, I'm curious if he's written anything else. I actually don't think that he has written anything else either. I think that he's a staff writer at The Atlantic, a poetry collection, Counting Descent. I would be curious. I would not purchase it probably. I maybe would check it out to see what that is like, just out of curiosity, because I didn't like this like weird language that he put in there, which I feel like is probably how his poetry is. So yeah, anyways, that was a no from me. But in general, the book, 4.5 stars. Required reading. Absolutely amazing. Just so good. My number 3 was this beauty. Chasing Me to My Grave, an artist's memoir of the Jim Crow South by Winfred Rembert. And I'm like about to get goosebumps thinking about it. 5-star read. So incredible. I don't even really know how to like express to you how good this book is and how just like it's just incredible. Does anyone else feel like they have a lot harder of a time talking about books that they like than books that they don't like? So this is the story of Winfred Rembert growing up in the Jim Crow South, and you know, just each chapter is kind of like different stories, and it's interspersed with paintings that he's done, and the paintings are stunning. Some of them have, not all of them have this like really intense texture, but he's a leather worker, so all of the paintings are done on leather. So let me see if I can find, you know, like, this is, it's upsetting, so I just want to warn you. And I guess this is, you know, the picture that's on the front. It's not going to come across, but texturally, these are so incredible because they're done on leather. So there's something like really extra, and just like, you know, reading his story and, oh, I can't actually, I'm sorry. Trigger warnings for violence against humans, obviously. And I'm sorry, I just opened up to like a horrible picture. It's a really well done picture, but it's depicting something horrendous. So yeah, it's not like fun, easygoing reading, but it's something that appeals to me more than the other things that I've read, because it's just, you know, a really well written story. He's not trying to sugarcoat anything. He tells his story as it is. Like, there's a period of time where he, you know, gets into dealing drugs and like all of this stuff, and he discloses everything, and basically throughout like every single thing that he's talking about, there's almost always a painting that accompanies the story that he's telling. And yeah, it's just like beautiful seeing how his life has like progressed and flourished, and how like much he loves his wife, and how beautiful their relationship is. Wow, I ran out of space again. Oh my gosh. I didn't even see this picture of him. Wow. Oh my gosh. Ooh, I just got emotional again. I like got over it. Oh, that's a stunning, stunning photograph. Wow. Sorry. I mean, you know, when you're reading the book, you take the dust jacket off. So I like did not see that. Wow. Okay. So he died. What? He died in 2021. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Wow. I clearly did not look up anything about this man. Okay, well, there's that. And then my number 2 book is Crying in H by I'm sorry. I'm so out of it now. My number 2 book was Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. I don't have the copy here. I guess I'll put a picture in because it's way in the other room. Yeah, I already talked about this book. I will link me talking about it down below, but I was very emotional when I read this book. It spoke to me on a lot of levels. It's Michelle Zauner, who's, you know, Japanese Breakfast, talking about her mom having cancer. It's a memoir, her mom having cancer and then passing away, and it's stunning, beautiful. It's fantastic. My number 1 book is A Little Devil in America by Hanif Abdurraqib. What am I doing right now? Booktube prize books. Okay. I am not finished with this book though. I'm reading A Little Devil in America by Hanif Abdurraqib, and my goodness, I am kind of obsessed with this book, and I don't know if I have ever felt this way while reading a book before. It is so incredible. I like literally almost bought all of his other books earlier today, but I'm trying to do another project, which involves me getting other books. So, and I own too many books, so I'm not going to do that right now, but I am obsessed with this and I cannot wait to finish it. So I just wanted to put that out there. It is brilliant. The writing is so good. The writing in this book. This might actually, at this point, be my favorite book of the year. Besides Virgin with a Memory. But just like, wow. It was so incredible. So, you know, it's in praise of Black performance. So each chapter is sectioned off. Hold on, let me find the table of contents. It's for Josephine Baker. So it's, you know, different chapters, and then within the chapter there's different sections. And you know, it's just so good. So each little piece kind of talks about different stuff. So, you know, there's talking about Soul Train, and then so I have to like flip through Aretha, and you know, I feel like at some point, let me see. I don't even know what to say about this book, because to me, part of the enjoyment of, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's hard to talk about a book that's, again, a bunch of essay collections. I mean, it's not really, but like kind of, because there's not like a through line of narrative that I can speak about. All I can say is that I was really close to buying every single one of his books when I was like 20 pages into this, because the writing is stunning, and obviously the topic is amazing also. Like, you know, why wouldn't you want to read this book? And it's just phenomenal. It's a book that touches on like difficult subjects. Like it's not all fun and games and rainbows and sunshines or whatever. He mentions, you know, some tough things, but nothing in this book made me feel like hopeless or really like shitty at all. Like everything had an air of like, you know, I don't really know how to describe it. I loved every single second of this book. There's one chapter in particular, I wish that I could remember which was. It's the beginning, because the very beginning of each movement, it's on times I forced myself to dance. And the beginning of one of them was, let me see if I can find it. I mean, me saying it's not going to be like, I don't even know. Yeah. It's on times I forced myself to dance in movement 2, suspending disbelief. And it's just so, it's so good. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Okay. I'm an emotional person. Get out of here if you don't like it. Yeah, 10 out of 10 I would recommend. That's all I have to say. Because again, it is really difficult for me to talk about that book for some reason, but I loved it. So yeah, those are my books and my rankings. I'm not surprised that Little Devil in America, Chasing Me to My Grave, and How the Word Is Passed, I'm pretty sure are the 3 that made it through. So of my top 4, the Michelle's Honor didn't make it through. But I think Robert said it was like really, really, really close. So, and I believe all of that because all 4 of those books, again, 4.5, 5, 5, 5. Or maybe 4.5, 5, 4.5, 5. I don't really know. I don't remember what I ranked Crying in H Mart, but yeah. So anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have positive opinions about the 2 books that I hated, because I need to know. I'm confused. Please. Thank you.